Hi everyone, I'm Whitney from Sugar and Sparrow, and today I'm sharing my go-to chocolate ganache recipe for drip cakes and showing you my preferred method for creating a drip cake. Even though chocolate ganache only requires 2 ingredients, getting the right consistency for your drips takes a bit of patience and practice. If you've struggled with drip cakes in the past, I'm hoping this video gives you a good go-to recipe and everything you need to know in order to use it with confidence. This chocolate ganache recipe uses only 2 ingredients, semi-sweet chocolate chips and heavy whipping cream, which is also known as double cream. With this type of chocolate, I like to use a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning equal amounts of chocolate and cream going by volume. I'm measuring out 185 grams or 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips with my kitchen scale to be extra precise, and the bowl I'm using here is stainless steel. You can alternatively use a glass bowl for this recipe. Once I've got my chocolate measured out, I move on to measuring my heavy whipping cream. Since this recipe is a 1-to-1 ratio by volume, I'll need 1 cup of heavy whipping cream to match my 1 cup of chocolate. If you want to make less, you could do a half cup of chocolate to a half cup of heavy whipping cream if you're working with semi-sweet chocolate. Once you've got that cream measured out, place it into a saucepan over medium-high heat and stir it with a whisk frequently until it reaches a simmer. While we wait for that to happen, I do want to explain that although I'm using semi-sweet chocolate in this video, know that you can use other types of chocolate to make ganache, but the ratio of how much heavy whipping cream to chocolate you'll use totally depends on the type of chocolate you're working with. This is because different types of chocolate have different ingredient structures. For example, since white chocolate does not contain cocoa solids, it will require way less cream than a semi-sweet or dark chocolate. If there's too much liquid in your ganache recipe, the drips will be too runny even at room temperature, and if there's not enough liquid for the type of chocolate you're using, the ganache will set too quickly and your drips will be too thick. I'll put my preferred ratios for each type of chocolate in the video description below, just in case you want to use a different type of chocolate for your drip cake. Now back to the heavy whipping cream. Once it just starts to simmer, it's ready to pour over your chocolate. It's important that you don't heat the cream past this point because it can overheat the fat content of your chocolate and cause the ganache to separate into an oily, grainy mess. See how this cream is simmering? It's ready. I pour it over my chocolate chips and wait about 30 seconds before whisking the 2 ingredients together. Letting that mixture sit for a tiny bit beforehand softens the chocolate and makes it easier to combine with the cream. Whisk it until it's nice and uniform. Even though it starts off looking really strange and a bit like chocolate milk for a second, things should come together really easily in about 30 seconds. Now that the chocolate ganache is looking beautifully uniform, let it sit undisturbed for about 10 to 20 minutes depending on the temperature of your environment. This is going to allow the ganache to thicken and cool to the right consistency for dripping. Patience is crucial for this part because a few extra minutes can be the difference between drips that are too runny, too thick, or just right. While we wait for this ganache to cool, let's talk about the cake we're about to drip, which is a 6-inch cake that's been chilling in the refrigerator. In my opinion, it's essential that you chill your cake for at least 30 minutes in the refrigerator before dripping it. The coldness of the buttercream will slow down that drip just enough so that it's easy to control as long as your ganache is the ideal consistency. In other words, it shouldn't travel too far down the side of the cake unless you really want it to. So let's talk about consistency because this is pretty much everything when it comes to a successful drip cake. I like to check the consistency of my ganache after it's been resting for about 10 minutes by giving it a stir and then pouring it off my spoon to see how long it drips. If it's too warm, the drip will seem to run off the spoon for ages and overall just look really thin. With ganache of this consistency, you'll risk it running down the side of your cake too quickly and going too far, or worse, pooling at the bottom. Here's a test strip of this ganache that's slightly too warm. Thankfully, the sprinkles stopped it from pooling at the bottom, but even on this chilled buttercream cake, the ganache travels just a little bit too fast. In this case, you'll simply want to let the ganache cool for a few more minutes before doing another test strip. So let's say you waited what seems like forever and the ganache is still too runny at room temperature and your test strips are pooling at the bottom of your cake. In this case, you'll need to add more chocolate to thicken it up, and this will mean melting about 1 to 2 additional ounces of chocolate in the microwave, warming the existing ganache to the same temperature as the melted chocolate, and then whisking it all together before letting it cool back down to the ideal drip consistency. If the ganache is too set, it just means you waited too long. It'll be thick and gloppy when you pour it off the spoon, and the test strip will be thicker as well. To fix this, gently warm the ganache in the microwave in 5 to 10 second increments until it's the ideal drip consistency. So what is the ideal drip consistency? Somewhere within that 10 to 20 minute cooling process, the ganache should thicken until it drips off your spoon for just a split second instead of running on and on. It'll be room temperature or slightly warmer at this stage. The only real way to tell if it's right is to do a test strip on your cake. Add a small spoonful of ganache on the top edge of your cake and nudge it off the edge with your spoon. If it's the ideal consistency, you'll be able to coax it further down the side of the cake by wiggling more off the edge, all without sending the drip pooling at the bottom. This consistency looks perfect to me, so I'm going to continue creating drips around this cake one at a time, making some of them longer than others as I go around. If at any point in this process the ganache becomes too thick and set, you can troubleshoot it by microwaving the ganache in 5 to 10 second intervals until it's back to perfect drip consistency. Dripping the ganache with a spoon is my preferred method, but you can also use a squeeze bottle to add your drips to the cake. The spoon method is just easier and more organic looking in my opinion, but I know that some cake decorators prefer the opposite. So feel free to try both approaches and decide for yourself which method you like the best. When you're finished dripping all around the sides of the cake, it's time to fill in the top. Simply add a few spoonfuls of ganache to the top of the cake and smooth it around until it just fills in the empty spaces. You want to steer clear of adding more ganache to the top than that because the extra ganache could add to your drips and make them travel farther than you want them to. And just look at this beautiful drip. If you plan on decorating beyond this point, I do recommend popping your entire cake in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes before continuing on with the decorating process. This is going to make the ganache firm up slightly so that any additional decorating you do to the top of the cake won't go sliding off. After chilling this ganache strip, you can see that all of the piping I'm doing is nice and secure. Piping on top of wet ganache would have made this buttercream slide around, so it's really important to let the ganache set up before you move on. And after you finish decorating, the cake is ready to display and serve, or you can pop it back in the refrigerator if you're making the cake ahead of time. In my experience, the ganache strips keep super well in the refrigerator and look totally perfect the next day, so this is definitely a step you can do the day or night before a cake is due. If you've got any ganache left over, you can easily store it for using on a future cake project. Just place it into an airtight container and keep it in the refrigerator for up to 2 weeks. From here, you can microwave it in 10 to 20 second intervals to bring it back to drip consistency, or bring it to room temperature and whip it up in your stand mixer to use as a cake filling. I hope this chocolate ganache recipe and tutorial is helpful for your future drip cakes. Be sure to check out the blog post linked in the video description for all the info you need. And if you want to learn more about cake baking and decorating, be sure to follow along with this Cake Basics series and all the fun cake decorating videos I release on my YouTube page. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new one. You can also head to my blog at sugarandsparrow.com for all of my favorite recipes, baking tips, cake decorating tutorials, and so much more. Thanks for watching.